Friends, thank you for returning, and thank you for watching this video. Now, last video we were talking about the Wall Street protesters and how this has grown. I think they've been doing this, started about 30 days ago, and this last weekend was really a big culmination. So it's taking place in every major city in the world, or at least in Europe and the United States. And these people are not going to go away because the problem's not going to go away. Like I said, the problem actually began like 3,000 years ago, because that's the first record we have of a people that were not really slaves, but they were in bondage. If you watch the Ten Commandments, you'll know what I'm talking about, or if you read the Bible. But they were in bondage. And we are in bondage. But we put ourselves in bondage. Kind of. We did it, but we didn't really do it. We're in bondage to a job. We're in bondage every morning to an alarm clock that goes off far before we're ready to get up. Traffic. A job we hate. Traffic. We get home in time, just in time to eat a little bite, tuck the kids in, kiss the wife goodnight, and we're passed out. Do it again the next day. And then we'll work on Saturdays because, we're broke. We need the overtime. And we keep doing this to ourselves over and over and over again. But why do we do that? 250 years ago, which was the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, there was no such thing as getting up, going to work for somebody like that as an employee. In fact, that term never existed. Before the Industrial Revolution, and even at the beginning, we had craftsmen. And you'd start out as an apprentice, you'd work your way up journeyman and become, a full master craftsman at whatever trade that you were being taught. But you weren't an employee for a company. Now we are employees. And that's really the crux of the problem. During the Industrial Revolution, we formed small groups that became companies. And what did the companies need? They needed employees. Like I said, before that, there wasn't any such term as employee. Now, as these companies got bigger, the need for more employees grew. So, what did they do? The companies now said, they merged with the governments and said, government, if you will, work with us, we will make you stronger. And, of course, that's what's happened. Business, big business, government, now is interlocking. And this is what the protesters are protesting. But how do you break that bond? How can you possibly break that bond? Now, what did the governments do to help the business? There was a lot of things they did. If you're aware of the tax codes and stuff, there's a lot of tax breaks that the businesses get that you and I don't get. But the biggest thing they did is something will blow your mind, and that is the government took over the educational systems. Now you'd say, well, we've got to teach everybody. We have to give everybody equal education. But this is the kicker. What model did they use for our education system? They used the Prussian model. Now, if you're familiar with your history, you know the Prussians were really the forebearers to the Germans. And what were the Prussians and the Germans the best at? They put out the best soldiers in the world. They kicked everybody's butt. Well, why would you use a Prussian model in our educational system? What do you want a soldier to do? You want them to do whatever they're told to do and not ask questions. If you're a businessman, what do you want your employee to do? You want your employee to do what you tell them to do. Don't ask questions. Whoa! That is what happened. Your parents, my parents, they said, go to school, get a good job, or you'll be flipping burgers, or you'll be digging ditches. Who determined that? Everybody bought into this system. And it's been propagated for the last couple hundred years. To the point where you go to school and you become a teacher, this is how much money you make. You go to school and you become a draftsman, and this is how much money you make. You go to school, you become an engineer, and this is how much money you make. They even dictate exactly how much money you can make. Now, how do we overcome a whole system that has been in place for a couple hundred years that's so ingrained that we can't even consider ousting it? You oust big business, oust government, then you got to oust the whole education system? Oh my gosh, now what's left? Stay tuned and you'll find out.